It is going down on a beautiful Saturday morning here in the Ville. This is Raashaan Myers, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. And that's what we're going to be trying to do. Here we are out on this road again. University of Louisville basketball trying to turn the page from a terrible, terrible beatdown on Monday to the Duke Blue Devils. So we got to get back out here and see what they can do. Shout out to Bob Seger, man. That's a classic right there. I was trying to think of the best way to encapsulate what's going on with the University of Louisville basketball team right now, and that was the best one that I could come up with. But that's all right, though. We're going to make this thing happen this morning. Of course, I am your boy, Raashaan Myers, coming to you live. Also in studio with us, we got intern Dre in the building. Dre, how you doing this morning?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. So glad to hear from you. We also have Haven Harrington. He will be along shortly, and I believe we will be hearing from Romy Bean himself, Mr. Romy Kelly, during the second segment. I think he's going to give us a call. So we have much to discuss, much to talk about, not only Louisville basketball trying to turn the page from that tough loss on Monday. We also have, we know who the Super Bowl participants are going to be.
Yep.
So I will be interested to get kind of the initial thoughts on that from Jay and Haven. I'm going to be very interested to see where everybody is sitting. I know where I am sitting. Of course, we have a little bit of time. We're going to have the Pro Bowl this weekend, and then, of course, Super Bowl Sunday next Sunday. So we have a little bit of a build-up for that. We also have to talk about, so many other things going on. Louisville women continue to roll. Jeff Walls went off a little bit after their big Thursday evening win at Stanford. They were able to win. I believe it is now their 13th game in a row. So they have it rolling. So shout out to them, the Lady Cards, getting it done once again. We have Kentucky trying to pick themselves up off the mat, after a decent little stretch, I believe, where they had won 5 in a row, 6 in a row. They had a decent little win streak.
They kept winning for a long time.
They kind of started to get back on the good foot a little bit, Dre. And then, of course, they go down to Nashville and get beat down by Vanderbilt.
Yep, that was nice.
Spoken like a true Cardinal fan, Dre. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So the Kentucky gets the beat down, and today they have to go on the road to face Coach Cal down in Arkansas. So very, very, very excited for that game. Of course, University of Louisville is back at home taking on a tough opponent. They're taking on SMU this afternoon, 2 p.m., KFC Yum Center. They're going to be taking on the SMU Mustangs, I don't want to say it's a must-win for Louisville, but it's definitely for their psyche and for just the general mood of the fan base coming off what happened on Monday. It feels like one that they need to get, or people are going to be in not very good moods.
Okay, it is a must-win.
Think so?
It's definitely a must-win.
Yeah, they just to take it on the chin as bad as you did both times versus Duke.
It's like seeing like how they were just going, like going through the motions out there. Like I didn't really see any of the high tempo, fast paced ball screens. I didn't see much of that. Or if it was happening, Duke was just like blowing it up all the time.
Yeah. No.
I think we were close like the first 10 minutes of the first half. Then we kind of like blew it open in the second. They knocked down 3 from like Cameron Boozer, and just I'm like,
yeah. Boozer hit that first 3 to open up the game, and I was like,
gosh, that's bad.
That's not good. When Cam Boozer comes out and just splashes the first shot, it's a 3-point.
It was a deep 3 too. We were playing some good defense. He just Conway had a pretty good game, I thought, but he was just like going off in the first half. Michael Bound didn't really pick up that much. I mean, I didn't really see it. I didn't really see the want for the win. How I say that?
No. I mean, and that's kind of that right there is exactly kind of the issue and the point and the worry for me right now is kind of like I'm trying to figure out what everybody is taking from what happened on Monday night. Of course, 502-4 414-1450. That is the Gameday Men's Health text line. I definitely want to hear from everybody this morning because, I want to know where mentally everybody is at. And Dre, I'm going to ask you, of course, Haven Harrington is hopping in the seat as well. Haven Harrington, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning? You good? Everything all right? It's not a little chilly outside.
Besides being cold, man, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Cold. Touch my neck. All right.
Yeah, it's a little chilly outside.
A little chilly out there, man. A little chilly.
Absolutely, but like that's kind of the thing that I wanted to discuss this morning, and of course, I want to discuss with everybody listening. And I want you to text in to that 502-414-1450. Or, of course, you can always feel free to give us a call as well, 502-384-1450. That is the Call Your Law Office hotline. Would love to hear from you there. But I want to know where everybody's attitude and opinion is on University of Louisville basketball as a whole right there on the men's side. Like, did the Duke game materially change your expectations? Did it raise them up, which I would highly doubt? Did it lower them? Are you still the same? And, what are kind of your expectations for the rest of the year? So, like, I want to ask Dre, you that first. Just as far as Louisville, after seeing them, second beatdown of Duke, how are you feeling about Louisville? Are you kind of punting on the season? Do you still think that they can do some nice things? Like, where, what do you think about them? Do you think they still have a shot to do some things this year?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a shot to make it to the NCAA tournament. Definitely.
Yeah.
I just don't think right now that. I think the lineup needs to change. Not the line. The lineup needs to change, and I don't think that the same way we were working it last year is gonna work this year.
Yeah.
Because last year we were just trying to get past 9 wins.
Yeah.
And now that we did, I think.
Yeah, it was a very low bar last year. It was just how about this? Like, win more than 9 games.
Yeah. So I think that we put the standard for this year so high.
Yeah.
That when we lose, we're thinking, oh my gosh, we gotta fire PK. We gotta find someone. We gotta do something different. I just think, yes, we're gonna have a couple games lost. Yeah, well, that's gonna happen. But if we just tweak some things, change a little something there, run a play, I think the season's gonna turn around and change.
Yeah. Okay. No. That is absolutely fair. Now, Haven Harrington, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Just before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts of what happened against Duke, and then of course we'll talk about what needs to happen. Just with another big loss to another big physical and very talented team on their schedule, like, where are your expectations for Louisville? Like, because I know some people that have just punted saying that we suck, and the ridiculous people are like, PK needs to get fired, and this dude's never going to have it, and Louisville's not going to do anything. Where are you at just in general on your feeling about Louisville basketball right now?
For me, that my feeling's been the same for the past month or so, right? And because to me, with this team, the die is set. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
When you face your elite teams, when you face big physical teams, you're going to take an L and you're going to get blown out. Pretty much against everybody else, you should win.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a very highly competitive game. And if you look at Louisville's schedule, we have some great teams we're going to play. We have some teams that definitely going to make the tournament, so we have plenty of quad 1 wins that we can stack up to improve our seeding. I think you pointed this out several times on Twitter and Facebook and everything else before. The rest of the schedule, except for the UNC game against Charlotte, is pretty manageable. And we should win about 90% of those games. And I agree with you. And we're going to be fine. We're going to the AC tournament. We'll be fine until we play Duke or UNC. And then we'll make the tournament. And then we'll be fine at the tournament, but the tournament will be completely determined about our seeding and matchups.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I absolutely agree with that. Like, to me, I think that a lot of people are trying to place a referendum on Louisville basketball because of the result against Duke. And I've heard a lot of, okay, well, we just can't beat any good teams. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. It feels to me more like there's a certain profile and a certain type of team that right now, unfortunately, University of Louisville, it's just a bad matchup, and I think that, a lot of the best teams do have that profile. Absolutely. So I'm not saying that, it's completely about, Louisville can't beat any good teams. But when I look at the teams that are at the top of the AP poll, just for an example, like Arizona, big, tall, athletic team, physical. Michigan, big, tall, athletic, physical. Duke, we already know who they are. Gonzaga, pretty big, more talented than just overall dominant size, but they do have Graham Ike at the 5, who's a very big physical guy. Michigan State, same thing. Illinois, a lot of size, but more skill. They don't really pound you in the paint. So I don't know if that would be a, definite L. Houston, big, physical type team. So I think that there are probably 6 or 7 teams in that top 10 that fit that criteria of what we're talking about, of these big, physical, just dominant teams. The BYU would be another one because of A.J. DeBonta and their other big guy. Like, I think that there are some of those teams. Kansas is another one, as we've seen previously. Arkansas is another one. So I definitely think that, Haven, that there are teams that, to me, would just be horrible matchups for Louisville. And as it's currently constituted, in the NCAA tournament, if Louisville or when Louisville would have to play one of those teams, that would be a very tough ask. But a team like, Nebraska, a team like Iowa State, a team like Illinois, honestly, I think you would be okay in those matchups. Even a team like Purdue, where Purdue has size, they're not an overly dominantly physical team. They're not trying to just get to the rim, throw it up on the backboard and go get it. You know what I mean? So I think that what we're going to see is that Louisville right now, to me, is going to be a slave of the draw. How their draw plays out, whether or not there are any upsets, that's going to totally determine. I think that, Haven, when me and you were talking about it, I said that, the only way that Louisville right now, as currently constituted, the only way they're going to make a deep run is if you're going to have to see their bracket fall apart and some of these big physical teams fall by the wayside, because I just don't have any belief right now that Louisville knows how to handle or deal with these big physical teams. Is that fair?
No, they don't. Well, they don't, and they've proven they don't. And that's the thing. It'd be different, like, if there was like, you know what, we were competitive against Duke either time we played them, or we was competitive against Arkansas, or we were competitive against Tennessee, and we weren't. Like we were not competitive in any of those games. And when you show that you're not competitive, when I think there's a stat that Louisville on the road against ranked teams has been down by at least 20 points once in every last one of those games. It just doesn't give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
That this is something that you can do, because you've proven throughout the year that you can't. To me, the most concerning aspect of all this isn't the fact that we're getting blown out by Duke, Arkansas, big physical teams. To me, the thing that bothers me the most is the lack of change and adjustments in those games.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me the most.
And I don't even want to say it bothers me. To me, that is less bothersome and more just disappointing. And I say it like that because I'm disappointed in the fact that there's not been very much adjustment, because I'm disappointed by the coaching staff on that end, because I know that Pat Kelsey is a better coach than that. And I know that Pat Kelsey knows more basketball than that. Pat Kelsey was a coach on, as we've heard a lot of times, Skip Prosser's Wake Forest teams and Xavier teams that just didn't necessarily play the style that he plays now. And he's had teams that have had to deal with big physical ACC teams before, and he knew what Coach Prosser did to combat and to play well and win some of these games. And he understands what it takes to get it done.
Well, he showed us last year
that he can be, flexible,
Like I say, he showed us last year. Last year he had to completely change what he wanted to do on offense because of all the injuries.
Yeah.
And had a very successful season. Completely changed what he wanted to do on offense and defense and made it work. But this year, with the team that he's constructed in his image that he really wants, he hasn't shown the ability, or not the ability. Let me take that back. He hasn't shown that he wants to make that change. It's almost like, this is my system. I'm going to prove to everybody that my system can work regardless of any information I see that says the opposite.
Yeah. No.
And that's what I think is frustrating Louisville fans to no end. Like, and you pointed out, right, in the press conference against Virginia Tech, he played a 1-3-1 zone.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it since. You're getting blown out by Duke, completely eviscerated. Try something, a box and 1, 2-3, 1-3-1, something.
Yeah.
Try something different. You can't, your bigs can't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I'm right there with it. I mean, and that's why I'm disappointed, is because there's been a level of inflexibility and there's been a level of stubbornness in the way Coach Kelsey has approached this team and this season that is very disappointing to me. And it's one of those things where I know he's better than that, and I know that this Louisville roster and this team has guys and it has the players to be able to adjust what you're doing to at least be competitive in those games. And the almost willful defiance to do anything to, and I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's just a situation where Coach Kelsey is just being stubborn. Maybe last year, he always says you have the benefit of no choice. That's like one of his taglines. He said last year they had to make some adjustments because they had the benefit of no choice, because there were injuries and because of, Kason Pryor and Corin Johnson and Abubakar Traore and all those guys getting hurt. Maybe he saw it as a necessity, but because he has this team that he envisioned to be able to play a certain way, he feels like this team still has the ability to play the way he thinks that they should. But to me, it's like, Coach, it is January 31st.
No.
I feel like even if he still had a bunch of players that didn't get hurt last year,
yeah,
I think it would be the same outcome.
Yeah.
Just because the ACC wasn't really that good that last year.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, yeah, the league, no, and Dre, that's an excellent point. It definitely helps that the ACC was not great.
So we got away with some things.
Yes.
Well, you got away with some things. Plus in Chucky Hepburn, you had a defensive guard.
Yes.
A guy that could just lock down the opponent's point guard and shut everything down.
It does help when you have the ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
And allows everybody else in your defense, to play. It makes their game a lot easier. It reminds me like when Deion Sanders was in his prime, right? He would literally shut down one half of the field, which is a defensive coordinator. You can I'm going to put Deion Sanders on their best wide receiver. Everybody else plays zone.
Yeah.
And it makes your defense infinitely better.
Yeah. No, that's fair. 502-414-1450. We already have some text flying in this morning.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube as well, man. All those guys on Twitter, we know there's 1,000 of you watching us on Twitter right now.
Yes.
Go ahead, hit subscribe, and share this with your friends.
Absolutely. Please do that. And if you have comments on YouTube, comments on Twitter, or X as they like to call it, we will read those live on the air as well. But we do have an early text in here to the Gameday Men's Health text line, Haven. A texter says, no excuse not to beat SMU at home. They don't play any defense and are not good on the road. They do not guard the three at all. Yeah, now that is true. The SMU gives up 9 3-pointers made per game. You would think that does definitely play in Louisville's favor. But, I mean, I agree with that, but I want to know, like, Texter, you said that there's no excuse to win it, but, like, does it matter to you? Do you feel like that's a good win? Do you think that says something about Louisville? I would like to know that. Another texter texts in early and says, bottom line is this: Cards team isn't anything what it was hyped up to be. Pat talked he wanted that smoke. Now he don't. I understand that issue, and I understand that thought process, that there was definitely a lot of hype around this team, especially with Michael Brown Jr. And that right there, Texter, is one of the reasons why I'm actually preaching that while we have this opinion of the Cards, let's not forget, I know that I said it's getting late, it's January 31st. Now I'm going to flip it on the other side and say it's only January 31st, and Michael Brown has only been back 2 games after missing a month. And that's going to be the other side of this. And Haven, you can give me your thoughts on that as well as you, Dre. Michael missing 8 games in a row, being out, from December 13th.
Almost like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months.
He missed a very big chunk of time. It lost time for him to develop, lost time for him to build camaraderie with his teammates and chemistry on the court. But I will caution folks in saying that I don't believe necessarily the die has been cast on this season, because, we saw the impact of a great point guard in Chucky Hepburn last year. And I think that Michael Brown Jr. still has several levels that he can jump up to over the next month or so as you get ready for ACC and NCAA tournament play. So I would caution folks to say that's another reason, besides the fact that, Louisville does not have a single bad loss this year, and that in games where they've played against teams that can handle their size, Louisville has been dominant. But I would also say that you also have Michael Brown Jr., who, to me, if he's playing at the top of his game and he's playing as well as he can play, that raises the ceiling for Louisville as well. Is that fair?
Fair.
Yeah. I do. I think that there is opportunity out there now. And, I think because you still don't have Michael and Conwell and Michael and Woolley and Michael and the rest of these guys necessarily all playing seamless basketball together. I think that as they get better, you can do some things, especially offensively, better. But my concern, Haven, is more on the defensive side of the ball. I think that honestly is where, like, while there are issues with Louisville offensively, and namely being able to generate easy buckets in the lane and at the rim, I think that that's definitely a big concern. To me, the biggest concern is defensively and on the backboards. I think that that's where Louisville has to get the furthest, because you can't have a team like Duke. Like, Duke basically just posted either Patrick Bunga or Cam Boozer in the middle of the lane and just threw it down to them every time. And all they did was just throw it into the middle, and we're just going to throw it up at the rim, and either we're going to hit the shot or we're going to go get our own miss and just put the ball back in. And that's pretty much what Duke did over and over and over for 40 minutes of a game. Like, the game plan that John Shire and Duke employed was not some great strategic mastermind of a plan. It's literally the type of game plan that, I've enacted playing basketball in the gym on a random Sunday when I got a bunch of pipsqueak kids out there that want to try to run up and down and use their quickness against me and my bigger guys that are out there playing. And I'm like, okay, look, we're just going to throw it down low every time, and then we're just going to throw the ball up there, crash, and just get the rebounds and slow this thing down. And that's basically what Duke did to Louisville. It was not some great strategic mastermind of a game plan. It was very simple. Big bank take little bank, Haven. Like, big bank take little bank.
But what makes it so infuriating is that you knew this was going to happen.
Yes.
Everybody knew this was going to happen. And you had zero answers for it.
Well, no, I don't even think it's answers. Louisville literally did not change anything they did from game 1 to game 2 against
A
them.
response, anything. And instead you go smaller.
Well,
Like,
can I withdraw?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big guys. I mean, here's the thing. Like, when you look at this roster, you have guys with size and girth that you could put down there. There's other things you could do. So if a big guy's beating you to death, you know what? Throw a box and run on them. Collapse your guys.
Hadley could not hold Cameron Boozer.
Oh, no.
No,
Yeah.
like, he is not. He has to play the 2 or the 3.
Yeah.
Definitely at the 4. But he can't hold anyone at the 4.
No, that's what double teams are for. I mean, there's a lot of things you could attempt to
Even
do.
the double team, you don't pass out, knock it down 3. After they did it in kind of time.
And that's fine. You know what? That's fine.
No, when they
force the ball out the middle.
Force
the ball out the middle and then trust your
when they gave it
guards.
to Cameron Boozer on the lane, they swarmed, doubled them. They passed out, knocked down 3. Or they didn't do that. They backed it down to Hadley, and Drew didn't get the board. He didn't jump. Ain't called timeout. Get the boards. Khalifa can't jump. He's a passer. He had 3 turnovers the entire time.
Yeah. No, I am absolutely right there with you. Thank you, Dre. Thank you, Haven Harrington. And you know what? When we come back on the other side, we're going to continue the kind of this conversation because there's an elephant in the room, and that elephant's name is Kayshawn Pryor. And I want to know what the fellas think.
Get him off, though. Get him off.
I want to know what the fellas think about that. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, intern Dre. We will be back on the Big X 96.1 FM. And welcome back in. Welcome back in. Second segment of the show. Wake Up 502, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Big X Sports Radio. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, intern Dre, checking in with you this morning. I believe Romy Bean will be along shortly as well. We are discussing University of Louisville basketball, of course, returning to the court this afternoon, 2 p.m., KFC Yum Center, SMU Mustangs on the docket. A team that's currently trending as an NCAA tournament team, I believe, in the projections by Joey Brackets, a.k.a. Joe Lenardi. They are currently trending in as an 8 seed. Of course, we know Joey Brackets is not always the most accurate with the seeding, but he at least picks most of the teams correct that's going to get in. So I'll give him that. But this is definitely a team that can beat Louisville. It's a team that has talent. Boopie Miller, a very talented young man. Of course, we saw him for a couple of years at Wake Forest before transferring to SMU last year. Of course, last year, Chucky Hepburn had Boopie in hell as Louisville basically went down to SMU and busted them by 30 last year. Just a absolute beatdown. I believe that was the game, Haven Harrington, that Rain Smith set the record for 3-pointers made in a game for a Louisville player with 10 in that game. I want to say Chucky Hepburn had 15 assists in that game. I believe it was 15 assists. So it was an absolute beatdown. So SMU is going to be coming in here looking for revenge, looking to kind of right the wrongs on their end for what Louisville did to them last year. So a lot of motivation for SMU coming in here. This will be the first of 2 games against the Mustangs this year. Louisville will play SMU a little bit later on in February as well. So it's definitely paramount that the Cardinals get out there and get this first win on their home court, just not only to turn around kind of the bad mojo, but to go out there and get a quality win. I know right now this game is trending, I believe, as a quad 2 game. Of course, the game later on in the year will be considered a quad 1 game road win if they were able to get it. So still a very good team, a team that puts another notch on the resume. Louisville does not have any losses to anybody outside of quad 1, which is one of the good things about where they are right now, is that without any sort of bad loss, that's at least, the NCAA tournament selection committee, definitely looks more at who you've who you've beaten more so than who you lost to. But you don't want to have any negative, if you can go the whole season not have any quad 2 and definitely not any quad 3 or 4 losses, that will be huge. But before we went to the break, I kind of got into it, and I wanted to ask the fellas just their thoughts. Cason Pryor was one of Louisville's big NIL and big transfer portal additions last year. He was a guy that was added along with Chucky Hepburn and kind of earmarked to be one of the 2 big money players for Louisville. Of course, we saw early last year Cason Pryor was instrumental to Louisville getting off to a big start. He was instrumental in that big win over Indiana in the Bahamas last year. That was kind of his coming out party where he really just kind of did a lot of great things for the Cardinals. Of course, he gets hurt in the championship game against Oklahoma later on in that tournament, after the wins over in Indiana and West Virginia. But, this year, for whatever reason, Cason Pryor has not been a big part of the game plan. And I don't know if it's Kayshawn related or if it's related to how Coach Kelsey wants the team to play this year and, Cason's style and, what he brings to the team is just not something that the coaching staff really wants to do. But Haven Harrington, I'm at a loss for words because how do you look at the whole Cason Pryor thing? Because I guess my first question is, I know Cason came back and he didn't make in NIL what he made last year, because he was one of he maybe had the biggest NIL, possibly the biggest NIL of any single player on the team last year, possibly. I know he and Chucky and Fat Edwards were the three biggest NIL moneymakers last year. I know that Kaysen did take a, pay cut, quote unquote, to come back, but I still know that he's still making a pretty decent dime playing for the University of Louisville. How do you feel about how Kaysen Pryor has been handled this year? Like, I don't know what to make of it. Like, every time that people have asked him and discussed, how he's feeling physically, how the knee is feeling, he said he's had no issues. He feels like he can go out there and give the team 30 minutes if they needed it. Like, what have you thought about how he's been handled this season?
I don't believe he's 100%. I don't think the coaching staff's 100% on leaning on him as the cornerstone that they did last year for the minimal time that he was playing. And I just don't. He had that one breakout game. Yeah, that he had that like 10 points.
Against Memphis, he hit the three threes. Double figures.
Yeah, a little small portion of points. And I don't think his I'm going to say he doesn't play well on this team. We don't have a Chucky Hepburn that's going to dish out passes left and right and have 15 assists every time. That's the center, Khalifa. He barely does that. But I don't. His playing style doesn't match what we do.
Hey, Harrison, what say you?
I don't know. Some of it may be the playing style, may not match what coach wants to do. But to me, it seems like when he gets in the game, he's like all energy, right? He's like a raging bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
And he gives you all this energy. It's kinetic, frenetic energy, but it's not focused energy. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like, when he gets in, a lot of times he's like kind of like all over the place. I'm guarding this dude. I'm guarding that dude. I'm running down here to do this. I want to pop out a three. And it's like he's kind of like all over the place, and it's not focused energy. And I think that may have something to do with it. Other than that, I really don't know. Because in a lot of games, like, you needed bodies. You needed big bodies. You needed somebody who's not afraid to get physical, right? You need somebody who's not afraid to mix it up. And we've seen against Duke twice, Fru is afraid. When Fru gets around guys that's similar to his size, that are aggressive, he gets scared and backs away. Kayshawn doesn't back away. He has no back away at all. So it seems like he'll be a guy that's been willing to kind of put in those spots to see what he can do. If nothing else, he's a good 5 more fouls you can use on somebody else's big. And, maybe give him a couple of hard fouls so he can rethink, this post thing's not going to be as easy as you think it's going to be. Sometimes he should be a good matchup nightmare for all the guys because he does have a little range and can shoot and is kind of athletic. But I honestly, I don't know.
Do you know why you don't know?
Why?
He hasn't played he hasn't played like 20 minutes because Coach Pat Kelsey is very passionate on his game plan. And he is hard to change when he sets his mind to it.
We know that.
Yeah. Because you kind of see with the Duke game how he didn't really change the lineup as I liked. Yes, he ran a few things that I liked, but overall, I don't think he really. He doesn't change the circumstance of the game.
So my thing is this, and the two things that first come to mind with Kaysen Pryor. First of all, I think Kaysen Pryor is still a very good basketball player. Like I said, there are very few guys on this Louisville team that have experience being an alpha, they have experience being a playmaker, and they have an experience being a guy that's used to having the ball in his hands and making things happen on both ends of the court. Kaysen Pryor is one of those guys. He's a guy who's used to being a go-to player. He's a guy who's used to being leaned on to make plays and to make it happen, and he's done it at a high level and been very good at it. And that's one of the reasons that I thought that he could help Louisville this year. He has not gotten the time that he needs. Like, in my personal opinion, one of the biggest problems with why Kason Pryor has not really shown who he is, Haven, and why you said that, you know, you haven't seen him really do much, and when he's been out there, he's been very frenetic. I think the reason why is that the coaching staff this year has opted for Louisville to play this high efficiency, high impact style game plan. And Kason Pryor is not an efficient player. He's not a guy who comes in and can score a lot of baskets on not a lot of shots. He's not a guy who is going to come in and give you 2 or 3 block shots at the rim and 7 or 8 rebounds because he's just so big and so physical. Like, that's not his style of play. Kason Pryor is a player that the more time he gets on the court, the better he is. He's a high usage player. That's the style of player he is. He's a guy who can do things when he has the ball in his hands. He's a guy that can can wear on a defense because he's constantly active with his hands. He's constantly getting into passing lanes. He's harassing players on the court. He's an energy guy, but he's a guy who needs to play extended minutes on the court. And this year, he's been neutered and basically been asked to come in and play 2 or 3 minutes at a time and be super efficient and super impactful. And that's not the style of player he is. So I think, that's the reason that we've not really seen anywhere near the best of Kason Pryor, because when he came in, he would play 6, 7, 8 minutes in a row. Does that make sense? Like, when he was out there, he would be out there for a good, segment and a half, so he could actually get in there and you could feel the weight of his game on the court, because that's how he played. This year, he's not been given that. This year, he's been given, okay, we're going to give you 1 or 2 minutes, and if you do something we don't like, we're going to sit you down immediately. Kind of the same. He's been kind of given the same standards that that Kenai Roos was given last year. Where it's like the freshman, you let the freshman come in, but as soon as the freshman screws up, we're pulling you. Like, for Kason Pryor to go from getting star potential treatment last year to now he's being given true freshman, don't screw it up minutes is very interesting to me. And the second part of this, what I'm talking about right now is, if this was going to be the case, why did you bring him back? Because I could have told you that this was not going to work. That's not the way Kason Pryor plays. That's not who Kason Pryor is as a player. What was the point of bringing him back if this is the role that you were going to ask him to play? Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I think the reason you bring him back, one, is a lot of continuity, because you know what you're getting with Kason. 2, he's a guy who knows your offense. He knows how you like to coach. He knows what you want to do. So you think you bring him back. He's a guy you can plug in there. He'll fit in good. He can help some of the new guys come in, figure out what they want to do, what they need to do. And he could be like the old man statesman on a team. And he can give you valuable minutes. Well, you would think he could give you valuable minutes. And I think he still can give you valuable minutes. You just have to give him minutes to be valuable with. But the other part is this, I think bring back for all those reasons, but it's like we said, PK is stuck on his system.
Yes, he is.
And he's going to work his system regardless of any evidence that has been shown to the contrary. And the Kason got stuck in that. And I think we see it, with small ball. He throws Woolley out there. He's determined to put Javon Hadley at the 4 against Carlos Boozer.
I know.
When there's no way in the world he could guard him. No way in the world he could guard him. But you're going to do it anyway. And even when Ruth was healthy, he was still putting Javon Hadley on guys.
I know.
They're like 5 inches taller than him and 60 pounds heavier.
He was doing good in the Duke game at home.
I mean, it's just
It's terrible. Dog.
that's just who PK is. He's stubborn, and it's my way or the highway, and I'm gonna do it my way. Actually, that should be next song we should play out a break. I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, but this is still a good Louisville team. Don't get me wrong.
And the one thing, Haven, I'm going to say before we move on from Case and Pryor is I'm going to say this. I give Case and Pryor all of the credit in the world because that young man, being who he was last year and who he's been over the last several years and being the type of transfer portal target he was 2 years ago, he thought he was going to end up at Arkansas. People thought that Coach Cal had that recruitment done, and then at the last second, Coach Kelsey flipped him and was able to convince him to come to Louisville over Arkansas. But I want to give Case and Pryor credit because that young man has been nothing but energetic on the sidelines. He's been a cheerleader for his teammates. He's been very passionate. He's been very engaged, and he has handled everything the right way. He is not
most definitely.
He is not pouted. He is not sulked. He's not done any of that, and he's been a great teammate. And I do want to give him credit for that because I know that this year has been difficult on him mentally.
I mean, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I should have gone to Arkansas.
I mean,
I should have gone to Arkansas where I would have been utilized.
It
is what it is. I mean,
yeah,
you got to. I mean, in this day and age of college sports, these players now have to think like their pro counterparts. What's going to be best for my career?
Yeah. I mean, so there's still, like I said, there's still time to make adjustments. Do I believe that those adjustments are going to come? I can't say that at this point. As Texter says, 502-414-1450. In his opinion, he said it's February. Teams are what they are now.
I can't argue.
I can't argue with that.
I can't argue that. The only difference, usually now at this stage in February, the only difference that you tend to see between now and March is players get better. Like the schemes stay the same, but players mature and get better now that they have more experience.
Yeah. Texter also says, in regards to Case and Pryor, he says, Case and Pryor's NIL is still really good. Have you seen his Mercedes-Benz?
Oh, yeah, I did see his Mercedes-Benz.
I mean, he's still getting,
he's getting paid a pretty penny for a dude who has not seen the floor in the last 2 games. I will say that a dude who has seen 0 minutes in the last 2 games.
I mean, if you want to pay me to practice,
it's wild.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, especially when you know that you really don't have an NBA career. I'm cool with getting paid to practice and see what European team I'm about to play on.
G League.
That's fair.
Come back for another year.
Texter says, good morning, Wake Up 502. Main event, happy Black History Month Eve. Says, first thing, did you see my future Louisville coach, Dusty May, take care of Michigan State last night? Hey, Michigan is on the road. Dusty May has Michigan playing at an extremely high level. Like the way Dusty May has put that team together, they are big, they are physical, they are dominant, they are athletic. Going on there and winning on the road at East Lansing is never an easy thing, and they go out there and win by double figures at Michigan State. Top 10 matchup, number 2 versus number 7, I believe is what it was. So, yeah, I mean, Michigan, people are asking who's the best team in the country. Is it Michigan? Is it Arizona? I know Michigan has the loss. Arizona's still undefeated, but both of those teams are really, really good. Texter also says, Hadley and Khalifa got dunked on so many times versus Duke. I thought it was an NBA All-Star game.
Yes, they did.
I mean, come on. I mean, you know what?
I think one time they got dunked on both times. Like he was like standing in a charge, and Cleveland was like this, and they both dunked on.
Yeah. Fruz he's looked a little scared. He's looked a little scared.
I mean, you know what? A
little intimidated.
We're just have to give Ollie a break. I mean, but he is what he is. I mean, he's not athletic. He can shoot. He can distribute the ball, and that's what he does. And that you can't ask him to do anything else because that's who he is. Which brings me up another gripe I have with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
which is the lack of any type of development of our post players for the past 2 seasons. It's like none of these guys have learned that one like really decent post move.
The hook.
At least something, because I don't expect like Denny Crum levels of post player development. I don't expect that. But you at least have to get like Frew and Zoo, show them at least a couple of moves just so they can be a threat. Just so teams have to take us seriously when they get in the paint. And maybe try to commit like a guy or two to be like, okay, this guy may back us down. Let's see what we can do. You feel me on that one? Or is that just me?
No, I feel you. Absolutely. I mean, there definitely needs to be some things that happen. We will jump right back on this on the other side. I like where we're going. I like the energy. I love the conversation. We're going to try to get Romy Bean on here as well. So you know what? Stick with us. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, Big X Sports Radio. We'll be back with intern Dre as well on the Big X.
Go Dre!
Sports Radio. I love it. Haven Harrington.
That's feedback, Kelsey.
That
do it your way.
That was his suggestion. We are back. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, the intern Dre, and now being joined on the line, Roman Kelly.
Romy Bean!
Roman, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Glad to have Roman Kelly. Roman's teaching me on the fly. We got him on the Google Meet link. So you sound good. You sound loud and proud. So glad to have you in. We have Jay Haz will be joining us on the line in just a minute. But before I get Jay Haz on the line, Roman Kelly, I know you have a lot of thoughts about what's going on with this this Louisville basketball team. And I'm going to let you get to that. But before we do, I got to remind everybody, the Feet First store in Jeffersonville is helping Kentuckiana move better and feel better every day. If you are dealing with plantar fasciitis, knee pain, back pain, or you spend all day on your feet at work, they have you covered. Their personally fitted orthotic system is designed to improve balance, alignment, and overall comfort. Athletes can see better stability and performance, and everyday workers get the relief they need to keep going strong. Schedule your appointment by calling 812-725-0208 or visit feetfirststore.com to book online. You can find Feet First at 2781 Jefferson Center Way in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Make sure you shout out Chris Cannon and let them know that Wake Up 502 and Raashaan Myers sent you. He will get you all the way together. Absolutely changed my life with his orthotic system. I'm a huge advocate of him. And, the one thing that we got to take care of, people, is our feet. If you don't have your feet, you don't have nothing. And to that end, Roman Kelly, how are you doing this morning? I know you're on your way to Midway, right? You have a game today?
Yep, about to hit the road here shortly. I've got a doubleheader today.
Nice.
The Midway University women's and men's side going to be facing IU Southeast, the Grenadines. So excited for that. Excited to see how those matchups look. Cold day, cold drive, but duty calls. Got to get to it.
I love the fact that you just called Southern Indiana the Grenadines. That was excellent. Please don't call them the Grenadines on the air. I believe they are the Grenadiers. Is that how you say that, Haven Harrington?
That is correct.
The Grenadiers, yeah. So don't call them the Grenadines because that's what you put in the drink. That's what the girls put in the drink.
That's right, the Grenadiers. Yeah, the
Grenadiers. Oh, no. But Roman Kelly, we've been talking a lot about, Louisville basketball and kind of where your expectations are after the beatdown against Duke. And I'm just going to ask you the same question before we bring Jay Haz in here. How are you feeling just in general? Like, are you one of these folks that is kind of punting on the season? Have you lowered your expectations? What are your general thoughts and feelings on Louisville basketball right now?
Well, I somehow, some way going into the season, I didn't let myself allow myself to make the expectation for this season too high. I knew, when you have an entirely new roster, what's going to be your core starting pieces for the most part, aside of Javon Hadley, there's going to be so much room for error, so much room for growth, so many variables when you're adding in these kinds of parts into a college basketball. It's aside like the European aspect of what we do. Redshirts who were here and were within the system but didn't actually play in the system last year. So many variables going into this season, and then Pat Kelsey having not got that big win last year. Granted, a lot of people say what they say about the expectation in those games. None of us really expected him to beat Duke last year, but still, you lost to Kentucky in the way you did. You lost a couple of other games the way you did. I knew that there was going to be more losses like that this season with this roster. However, the expectation was heightened. I did expect this team to show that they were going to be a team that they could make noise in March early in the regular season. I thought they did that, and then I thought they would take it up a notch from there and show that this offense can be one of the best in the nation. I still always had its doubts about it defensively, but the expectation's now been lowered. I'm not in the same place I was in the beginning of the season. I think even from what we've seen now, there's reason to believe that he may be in a spot to struggle again with the way that this team's looked at times. Granted, Louisville basketball is in an interesting moment because we've got a lot more games left here that are truly going to test us. Not going to be like those heavy hitting opponents like a Duke, right? But still games with athleticism and size where you have to go and play your best ball to get the win. I still have more to kind of gauge, but with that being said, it's upsetting seeing this team lose in the fashion it has against some of the teams that we have. You know,
Yeah.
I think about 31 points. FSU is the worst team in the ACC at the moment. I don't think they're going to stay there. They played Duke closer. Everybody's played Duke closer. We get down in these games, Raashaan and Haven, and we let that smack in the face be a punch in the throat and take away our breath and lose everything we know how to do. And that's been the one aspect in some of these losses that's been really, really tough. You know, I don't think we're 31 point loss bad to Duke by any means. But when we get down 12 points, we lose everything. We lose our composure. And that's been the hardest aspect of this season to watch is that lack of composure that last year's team had with less skill, right? We had a bunch of guys either that were not necessarily misfits, but just, you know, not necessarily either rejects either, but guys trying to prove it, guys trying to show that they can do it at this level. Whether it was coming off of an injury, guys showing that they can do it at this level, or guys really trying to come into a different kind of conference and level of play and style of play. And you never saw that lack of composure. You always saw the intensity raise up a notch when games got, you know, kind of a bit iffy and shaky. We don't get that from this year's team. And I put that on the coaching staff. So I really do kind of wonder what the coaching staff has gone in their approach and how that approach maybe changed from last year, or what's been different about this year's players compared to last year's in that aspect. And that's been a tough thing to watch. Another thing, Raashaan, more on a basketball sense, we don't make adjustments when we start getting down. When our initial game plan for a team doesn't work 8 times out of 10, we don't adjust. We try to force it. We try to make it work for us, and it doesn't happen against those long, lengthy teams that have versatile defenders. And we haven't even necessarily seen that many teams, but we've seen teams that have versatile bigs, right? Guys that can kind of hurt you in different ways with their front court. And we haven't been able to adapt. We haven't been able to adjust in those games. And that's been another factor in the last, in this last middle stage of this season so far that we've been in, that's been kind of hard to allow myself to feel confident going into this 11-game stretch where we're going to be favored in all but maybe like 2 of these games, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Do I think we're going to win all but 2 of these games, maybe 3? No. I think we should. I think we could. I think we can. I think if you get down in one of these games late, I don't know if we have it in us to get back in it. So that's kind of a factor that isn't even based on our skill set. It's based on the way we've operated lately. That kind of makes you feel that way. I know I gave you kind of like 3 answers there to your question, but at the end of the day, there's just a few things that I'm not really satisfied with that are happening.
No.
Also, with that being said, I'm not out. I'm not done. I'm not done on this season. A lot of people think that the roster wasn't constructed in a way that we should feel like there's any chance of success for going forward. I don't believe that. I think that Sedona was good enough to make something happen with the right adjustments. I think, Ali Khalifa and the offense can do a couple of things different to generate good buckets consistently, right? I don't think we need to be settling for threes, and I think that the defensive effort can get amplified and that the defensive game plan can be changed and shifted and altered a little bit. And really what I mean by that is certain things can be added and thrown in there to that.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that stuff enough.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring Jay Has in here as well. Jay Has, good morning. How are you doing this morning, my brother?
How you doing, man?
Man, doing well. I wanted to bring you in on this conversation as well. We got Roman Kelly. He's online via Google Meet. We got Haven Harrington here in studio, as well as intern Dre. Jay Has, after the beatdown against Duke on Monday, man, how are you feeling? They got a big game against SMU. What is your current feeling on the cards in this situation after the Duke game on Monday?
Well, I over there got there. I had to buy another video TV because they hurt my heart and stuff, man. And 2 is when I look at a lot of it too, from both ends of the court, Raashaan, the coaches have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With the losing and the winning. At the end of the day, you get instructed by practices if you have a game plan that you implement on the game day or whatever, and you're going through the coach with the motions or whatever the coaches allow you to do and tell you what to do. And I've learned the coaching a lot of it with Raashaan Miles. I mean, Louisville has enough talent to do certain things, but man, I still got this team hit it down, to Indianapolis. They come in if they can stay healthy. Become the learning. Because another thing too, I listen to you too, Raashaan, and it's all about sizes and matchups. And if Louisville can match up with the low ball team or whatever, like they can't match with the Dukes and the big boys. They don't have enough muscle. And but man, I see this team doing some really good things. They come together. I like to see tonight how they do tonight at 2:00 this afternoon and that's televised on ESPN. See how they do. Have they learned anything from the Duke game? And let's see what the progression is with Raashaan Miles has and R. Kelly. Let's see what happens.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I'm picking up what you putting down on all that. So, let me ask you this, Roman Kelly first, just because I have already asked Haven and in turn Dre about this. How do you feel about the handling of Cason Pryor, a guy who was brought over here? He was a high value target, a big NIL investment put into him. Did not see any minutes the last two games at all. How do you feel like he's being utilized right now?
He's not being utilized, and that's the issue. I know that you got him on a discount compared to what you probably paid for him last year because, he went and he put his name in the portal, went and kind of tested the waters, and he ended up coming back. Usually that's a sign that a player is not getting what they're asking of the team, right? And they want to go see if they can go get that elsewhere. He couldn't. Mm-hmm. I still think that was a lot less from what you hear and read, a lot less of a number than what it was last year because you knew he was coming off of an injury. You didn't know what he was going to be, and you didn't know how long it was going to take for him to be that. And for another aspect, you knew that he knew about the culture. He had the vibes from last year. He was another additional piece that was going to bring the understanding of what Louisville basketball was revived up into being last year, right? And cool, I'm all for that. You started playing him. You started utilizing him as soon as he got healthy, as soon as he got back right. There was kind of like this Cason Pryor watch happening for a while. We all wanted him back. We all knew what the addition of him could be. And then since he's gotten back, he came back. It took him some time. Still never really seemed like the knee and the flexibility and the agility didn't seem like it got back to Cason Pryor level. And it may never. That's how that ACLs can be weird for big guys like that. Even with non-heavy big guy, considering what, the average 6'11" guy is built like. He hasn't fully gotten that agility back, it seems like. But, Raashaan, the way to get it is to play, to get that in-game feeling, to get that in-game experience. If you are going to be a new player with a new knee and a new way of going about basketball, there's only one way to go out there and learn that, and it's not fully at practice, right? You've got to get in the games. You've got to see what works for you in these games. You've got to see what kind of player you want to learn to be. You can't do that in little 2-3 minute spurts, and with that,
no, you're absolutely right. But I mean, that's the thing about it is, but we know what Cason Pryor has been as a player, and he's proven what he's been as a player on the court in actual college basketball games, Roman. And at some point, do you have to at least give him some extended minutes against some of these better teams just to see if you can get a spark? Like when you're down 30 to Duke, what does it hurt to play Cason Pryor a little bit more?
I have no idea why you don't see Cason Pryor when you're down 26 to Duke, when you're down 24 to Duke. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Maybe there's some aspect of the injury that we're not getting word of. It doesn't seem like that because he was playing, 10 minutes a game a month ago. The fact that he is not even getting into the game doesn't make sense to me. You've been up in a situation and now down in a situation where there was no reason not to see Cason Pryor. I get you're getting the shooting from Ali Khalifa now, and I get that at the end of the day you feel like you have a better chance of preventing offensive rebounds than with Vangelis Zugris at this very moment than you do Cason Pryor. Jason Pryor's still the one that understands your offense. Jason Pryor's still the one that's been playing college basketball. I think you need to go out there and let him figure it out, especially in a situation if you get up or down again. And then bring him in, let him get 3 or 4 minutes, bring him out, bring him back in. He gets out, he has no type of belief he's getting back into the ball game. That does something to a player's head. That does something to how you feel about yourself going into these games, right? It might make you a little bit tentative, or it might make you trying to do a couple of things, you don't typically do because you want to go out there and prove it. You're so eager to make a play because you don't get into the game very much. So that aspect of it there as well. I think ultimately, though, they view these handful of defensive lapses from him and have just chalked it up to him and his body not being prepared for this level of play anymore, or not being, suited for this level of play anymore. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He can set screens, he can cut, he can dive to the basket. You're not asking him to clear off the dribble. I think he can still be a good, smooth finisher in the dunker spot. I'm not saying a dunker necessarily, but
a finisher. He's
soft touch. He knows how to get around and be acrobatic in the air around his man.
Yeah.
He had those kinds of finishes last year. We don't even get to let him. You don't even give him enough time to get comfortable within a game to start doing those kinds of things anymore.
Yeah,
because he's trying to cheat on the defensive end and get a steal, and it doesn't work out. Now he's out of position. Yeah, it's going to happen, and I hate it. I hate those moments. I don't want them happening 2 or 3 times every time you're in the game on the defensive end. But at the same time, pull him out, go into him about it, let him have it, let him hear it, and then put him back in and see what happens. We just don't do that enough. So.
And Jay I'm gonna ask you this because I agree with everything you said, Roman. But when you've seen your big guys either be too small and get bullied, like we saw Zugris, and we see Sananda Fru look like, I'm gonna be honest, he looked scared out there. He looked intimidated. Jay to me, I don't think Kason Pryor's a dude that's going to ever be scared on the court, and he's never going to not be aggressive. I think Louisville could use some of that. Do you agree with me, Jay?
I agree with you, Raashaan. Really what happened to Kason Pryor is he had a flat tire. It's hard to come back on a knee. It takes 3 to 4 years, 5 years, depending on how you rehab it. But he still is not 100% with that knee, and you can just basically tell, because I had a knee injury where the correlated ligament is cut in half, so I can identify. And I'm still not here. That happened back in the late 80s. But Raashaan, we can utilize him. He's 6'9", 6'8.5", 6'9", completely almost 7 feet.
6'10", 6'10". Jay
we can use him, man.
Jay he is 6'10", 240 pounds.
Oh, we can use him. We need that. Let's into the meat now, into the red velvet cake. We got to handle business every game, man. I don't care if you got to throw some little guys behind the bench on the court.
You got to do something different. I think that's, and I agree with you. And Jay, before we get you out of here, is there anything else you want to discuss before we get you on out of here and head towards this last break?
Well, I'll tell you this. Look out for the Wake Up 502 Sports Show with Haven Hands and myself, Kelly, Raashaan. We're going to be doing some eating contests or restaurants. I got to tell them guys, they don't really know what's going on. We're going to go to restaurant to restaurant and have a debate of where we got the best food in the city.
Oh, boy.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, that's going to happen in 2 weeks from now. And around the corner from 2 weeks from now is the J. Harris Lovely Birthday Bash, the 26th year of it. And I'm going to let you know how I'm going to get down next weekend on that as well, too. And I'm getting ready to prepare. I got some cupcakes for you guys when I see you guys at the game, man, Raashaan, Haven, Kelly. But, man, I'm telling you, man, I cannot wait. I got to see what this team does today, Raashaan. There's another TV I might have to go get. We don't know yet.
Please don't break any more TVs. I was going to say, please don't break no more TVs, Jay. Them TVs cost too much.
Okay, man, I won't do it, man. I won't do it this time, man. It's terrible, man. I know the bad. But I will say this, man. Please, ladies and gentlemen, whoever join the best sports show in the city, in Atlanta, like a 502, 96.1. I'm going to give you everything. Entertainment, educational, informative. Even go politics on you. They're going to talk about international sport. Even talk about Tiger Woods. You want to talk about Tiger Woods. And also, too, real quick, so I'll let you go. Did you see that Lamar Jackson got a Netflix deal. And he got a Hollywood deal as well, too. We'll talk about that next week on Wake Up 502 Sports. Raashaan, thank you very much. Haven, R. Keller, appreciate you, brothers. Man, keep doing a good job. You're the best sports show in the nation, man. More love.
See you, Jay Harris.
Appreciate you, Jay.
Later, Jay.
There we go. We got Jay Harris checking in this morning, doing, as always, bringing the energy, bringing the love. I appreciate Jay on that. And I agree with everything he said. Yes, and I did see Lamar's got a Netflix deal. Lamar's got a whole lot of things happening. Plus, he's got his new coach. Got Jesse Minter, the former defensive coordinator at the Los Angeles Chargers, is now his head coach. They just brought in. This is crazy, Haven Harrington. I don't know if you heard this, but their new offensive coordinator, I believe it's Leto is the young man's last name. 29-year-old offensive coordinator is now Lamar Jackson's coordinator at the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar and his offensive coordinator are literally the same age, Haven Harrington.
Awesome. That's the way it should be.
They're going 4-13. They're not winning any games. They're going 4-13 the entire season.
Dre. You're so
Get out now, Lamar. Leave. Hey, come to Tennessee. We need someone.
Hey, Dre, that's an insane take right there. That he's not going to do anything. Hey, Roman Kelly, before we get back to Louisville basketball, what do you think about the youth movement? You got a 31-year-old head coach in Jesse Minter, a 29-year-old offensive coordinator in this Leto, the offensive coordinator who was formerly with the Chicago Bears. He was the offensive coordinator with the Bears last year, even though, of course, we know Ben Johnson does all the play calls with Chicago. So this will be his first chance to actually call the plays. Do you like the youth movement in Baltimore?
Yes, it's needed. Bring the young, innovative guys in who are going to do things a little bit differently. Keep the league on their heels and utilize Lamar Jackson to his full capabilities. I watched an interesting video the other day on TikTok, and there was somebody just breaking down the statistical performances of all of the defensive lapses and turnovers and drop passes and all the different things that have happened in the Baltimore side. And Lamar has he's been the one non-wavering thing with that team for the last 5 years. And it's finally good to know that there may be some people in there that are going to make sure that the absolute best of Lamar Jackson is getting put on the field, and they're putting the right skill position players around him and putting them, more importantly, in the right spots consistently to make this one of the best offenses in the league. Lamar Jackson and his skill set, it should be the best offense in the league because he is the most versatile quarterback in the league. So I'm ready to see another bit of a Ravens era where we're getting that good Lamar Jackson, not you never know what you're going to get from the Ravens. I'm just hoping Lamar can get past their issues type of Lamar Jackson, right? Ready for that. Usually these young guys, at the head coach spot, you don't really know much and how that can go, but I think I love the young offensive coordinator and what he can be able to, the opportunity he has here and what he can do with Lamar.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That old man football to me has cost Lamar Jackson more games over his 7 years, 7.5, 8 years now than anything. So, I think that being
even down to the fourth down chances, other coaches and all the times that they've had Lamar in these fourth down playoff situations or even, wild card situations, Harbaugh, he started to be a little bit more aggressive. He wasn't aggressive enough.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's get this last break, fellas. When we come back on the other side, we're going to kind of discuss, before we get back into what changes would you guys make with Louisville basketball. We're going to talk about the 2% participants in the Super Bowl, what you guys thought about the AFC and NFC championship games, and kind of do a little mini preview before we get into in-depth previews next weekend. But I want to get you guys started.
I've got to jump out of here, unfortunately, Raashaan.
Oh, you got
the highway.
Okay.
I will give you my pick for tonight, though.
Oh, please do. Please
give it to us.
Give me the Cards. I do think the Cards win a big one tonight. Today, I keep saying tonight. I think that Mike Brown Jr. should be a player of the game going up to the defensive side, and SMU, who doesn't really have that true athleticism. I mean, I shouldn't say that. who doesn't have the true defensive prowess out on the perimeter with their guard play.
Yeah,
kind of the ideal matchup for our guards to really get going and not have to worry about aggressive defenders being on them. Also, the kind of game that's perfect for Pat Kelsey to open up the playbook as much as he possibly can. A lot of returning players from last year's team where we had 2 records broken with both Rain Smith and Chucky Hepburn.
Yeah.
So I expect this team to utilize all of our little mini sets that we get into. Ali Khalifa, I expect him to have a handful of assists today, and for the Louisville Cardinals to get back to a comfortable victory over an SEC side. This is not a quad one opportunity at the moment because they're like number 31 in the net. They're literally 1 game away. But there is room for them to go up as well, and we do see them on their home floor. So perfect game to get right now ahead of all of these kind of key games we've got, critical games, and really just getting the comfortability under our belt and playing a good brand of basketball. Hopefully Pat Kelsey's ready to have made some adjustments and added some things, and SMU, kind of a good team you can change what you do offensively against because you're not going to get a lot of insane defensive resistance. Now, on the other side, they've got a big man down low, 7'2", 270, Summit Yigatolu. Yigatolu. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Yigatolu. You had it.
Yigatolu. So he isn't really he's one of those. If you get him out of the paint, you can get by him at will. But if he's down there waiting for you, ready for you, he does do a good job of jumping without fouling. He'll get a block or two, but even more than that, he'll make you just miss. He'll make guys miss at the rim and get the rebound, right? He's not even always worried about getting the block. He's worried about going up vertical and going up higher than you can. And Sonographer's going to have his hands full on the glass as well with that. I expect Pat Kelsey to try some new things defensively because you're going up against some guards who can also light it up. So perfect game to test things defensively, see what works, see what's right, because you should be able to get those points back on the other side. Ultimately, I say Cards win this one. Give me 86-72.
I like it. Romy Bean, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for checking in this morning. Thank you for teaching me how to use Google Meet. You sound great this morning. Please be safe going down the road, and good luck in your call with Midway today.
Thank you so much, Raashaan. Appreciate you guys, Haven. Raashaan, talk to you guys here next week.
All right, big guy.
There we go. Appreciate it, Rome. Roman Kelly, the man, the myth, the legend, now the biggest star of, Wake Up 502, the biggest young star up and coming. If you want to be the next one, hey, we always got opportunity. We've had intern Dre in here several times, have enjoyed having him. He's learning the ropes. We are always about doing what we can to help push the next generation forward. Super proud of all the work that Roman Kelly's doing. But I tell you what, let's go ahead, fellas. Let's get to this last break. When we come back, as I said, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on, kind of the AFC and NFC championship games from last week. I also want to kind of discuss and talk about, where we are with Louisville basketball, what changes you would like to see, and we're going to get everybody on up out of here for the night. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, intern Dre. We are all in the building. Thanks to Roman Kelly and Jay Haz, and we'll be back on And welcome back in. Welcome back in. Big X Sports Radio. Wake up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, Intern Dre. Intern Dre, let me just, I know the answer to this. Do you have any idea what that song was we just played coming back?
Was it from the 1800s? Tumbleweed like grows past.
Oh gosh, the 1800s is wild.
Like little tumbleweed that grows past you.
That was
harsh.
That was the theme song to Sanford and Son, which was a comedy back in the 60s.
Was it like a sitcom?
Yeah, it's a sitcom.
One of the funniest shows you will ever watch.
Oh, Jerry!
No. No, don't even besmirch the greatness that is Fred G. Stanford with Seinfeld.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the worst. But Haven Harrington just let me know that the actor that played Lamont, the original Lamont, not the second Lamont, people, for
Damon Wilson.
Yeah, just passed away this morning.
At 79.
79 years old. So had to give a shout out to him. Give a shout out to the real Lamont, the fake Lamont that came after he left the show. I don't know, that other dude, I just did not like him. I didn't trust him. He looked like he was lying every time he opened his mouth.
The fake one.
Yeah, there was two Lamonts. Like the guy who played a Lamont, who was Fred Sanford's son on the show. They switched actors after the first what was it, 4 seasons? I think it was like first 4 or 5 seasons. It was the original actor, and then it was like the other dude took over after that. I don't know why they switched Lamonts, but
seasons are there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Watch them all, Dre. Watch them all.
It's kind of like on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they changed on Viv.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Sanford and Son may be literally the funniest sitcom of all time.
Ooh, hey, that's good. That's a
bold
take, Haven.
That's a very bold take.
It is very bold, but it's also very true.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
A lot of people I can say that that's not right.
I'm telling you right now, Sanford and Son may be literally the funniest sitcom of all time.
You can tell how old certain people are depending on the takes that they make. That's a very old man take.
No, it's not.
There. Even though it still holds up. Don't get me wrong. It definitely still holds up.
It's still very in the top 30.
No, it's way higher than that, Jay. It's way higher than that. I don't care what you say. Friends, nowhere near as funny.
Nah.
Not Friends.
Nowhere near as funny. Nah. Frasier, nowhere near as funny.
Nah.
Not even close.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you what, my favorite sitcom, the sitcom I personally think is the funniest. Hey, I got to give it to Golden Girls. Like Golden Girls is my show.
Yes, bro. My grandma watches that all the time.
Thank you, Dre.
You know what? Golden Girls is funny.
Golden Girls,
but not as funny as Fred G. Sanford.
I don't know. I don't know.
Making run for money. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am on the Golden Girls. 502-414-1450. What's funnier, Sanford and Son or the Golden Girls? We're taking your thoughts live here on Wake Up 502. But hey, fellas, let's get back into it. I know we only got about 18 minutes left before the top of the hour.
Before we switch topics from TV shows, I'm telling you right now, you have to watch Wonder Man.
Yes.
I watched
Disney Plus.
I watched the Doorman episode, and it was, I don't know.
Why'd you skip?
I watched it to the Doorman episode.
Okay.
I don't understand. Like, it like the switch halfway through. Like this guy had superpowers, and he's like, this guy is like he's like part of like him was actually working for like the FBI or something like that.
Oh, the Doorman Davis.
Yeah, the Doorman. Like,
okay, so you know what? So I'm gonna help you out with this, Dre. The reason they had that episode in the middle because all through the series up until then, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Man was always worried about being
the next Doorman Davis.
Not about being next Doorman Davis, but the fact that if anybody found out he had superpowers, he would never work in Hollywood again because of the Doorman clause.
Yes.
In the contract. So
yeah, basically like it didn't come out.
So what they wanted to give us the backstory of why that clause happened and why is it so important and why superheroes are excluded from working as actors.
But for him, he isn't even like doesn't know how to control his powers. It's like happens like spontaneously.
Yeah.
Well, actually, okay, you'll find out he does actually control. You know what? He does know how to control his powers.
Haven Harrington, that show has been out. Don't be giving away no.
It's been out for like a week.
I know.
I'm not giving
Don't be giving out no spoilers.
Watch Wonder Man. It's really good.
Thank you.
It's really good.
I don't know why he's trying out for Wonder Man when Wonder Man's like, I don't get Wonder Man. He's like the old Superman where he's like put his fists up and he's like do do do. You can see like the green screen like rolling on him. Like,
well, that's because
it's a very young people take once again.
It is.
Which I
that's because you're 13. That's okay.
I love it.
Because like when you get like about 6-7 years older and you start reflecting on things that you watch now
as a kid,
you'll be like, man, I love that show and it's awesome. I
watched X-Men '97. It was actually pretty gas.
Excellent. Yes, X-Men '97 was excellent. It's kind of like the way my son feels about Gravity Falls. Golly,
I never seen Gravity Falls.
That dude talks about Gravity Falls like it's the greatest thing that ever happened.
No, it's not.
Even though it's like 30 years old.
Oh, and I do have to give a shout out this morning. Shout out to Miss Jackie, who's one of my friends that I hang out with. Y'all know I love my Jock Sports Bar. I go out there and watch a lot of the games. But she said the funniest thing the other day. So I told her I was going to give her a shout out on the show. And she said that, you know what, Raashaan? She says, when I think about this Louisville basketball team, she's like, Louisville basketball team is just like the weather in the city. It's hot and cold. One day that's great, next day it's snowing, and the next day it's windy, and the next day it's rainy. That's literally how I feel about Louisville basketball. I thought that was
like that.
Literally. So shout out Miss J. I told her I was gonna give her a shout out this morning. So Miss Jackie, shout out to you. That made me laugh the other night. But before we get back into, because I want to know when we talk about the hot and cold nature, I want to know what these fellas' thoughts are on the fixes. But before we get to that, we had 2 championship games in the NFL. We had the AFC championship game, NFC championship game. The Seattle Seahawks victorious over the LA Rams. They were able to get it done. It was not a beatdown.
Not a thriller. No.
It was not a beatdown the way
the Rams got cheated because picking the kill was out of bounds with 1 second remaining on the clock.
That's fair.
Just saying.
That is fair.
Just saying. They get slightly robbed on that one.
And of course, the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots set football back 85 years with that crap they put on the field.
Well, according to Kirk Herbstreit and the ESPN college football crew, the Denver Broncos should not be in that game because they should forfeit that game because Bo Nix was hurt.
He was walking fine.
I mean,
allegedly he broke his ankle. Allegedly.
But I tell you what, I thought Jarrett Stidham actually did pretty decent.
I mean, he was okay.
1 touchdown pass in the first quarter.
But it's like
cold since then.
The conditions were just terrible. The conditions were
after halftime, they could have scored at least another touchdown after that.
But the snow started coming down so heavy. I was like, oh wow.
Not kicking the field goal to go up by 10.
Yes. To go up 10-0 early.
When he knew the weather was going to turn was not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. Sean Payton definitely probably didn't make the right decision there. So let me ask you fellas, like what are you all feeling? Early thoughts on the Super Bowl overall, just like Seahawks, Patriots. I believe the Seahawks are about a 4.5 point favorite on early line.
That's a winning.
What do you all think about that? But
I mean, like if you watch the 2 championship games, there's no way you think the Patriots have a chance. I mean, it's just the games are just so dramatically different in the style of football that was played, the execution, the level of football that was played. I mean, NFC Championship game was like head and shoulders above what the AFC did. Granted, I knew the weather was bad. It was cold. It's Mile High Stadium. It was snowy. The wind was horrible, so you couldn't throw the ball unless you were going towards one of the end zones because the wind was so high. I get all that. But even with that being said, I mean, just level football in the NFC Championship is still so much better.
They look like they were playing 2 different sports.
It completely did. And, Denver without Bo Nix is not Denver. I hate to kind of agree with Kirk Herbstreit, but
it's just
I mean, these guys won like 11 straight games in the regular season. They looked like they were just monsters. At least in the AFC, they looked really tough. But without Bo Nix, the offense was horrible. I mean, it was just, even when they had the wind, the offense was horrible. I mean, Stidham after the first quarter couldn't do anything at all. Nothing. He gave you nothing. The coaches didn't trust him to do anything. So
And the bad part is,
what?
If Lamar didn't get hurt, he would be in the playoffs.
Oh man,
because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are out, so they can't say that the Chiefs got him out. The Bills lost terribly, and then now, if Lamar didn't get hurt, he would be in a Super Bowl.
I mean, they're one missed field goal away.
Yes, literally one missed field goal away.
One NFL chip shot. 141
one 2-point conversion away from Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I honestly feel like, and that if the Ravens would have made the playoffs, the Ravens would be representing AFC right now.
Yes, he would.
And the fact that Tyler Luke misses that field goal,
a chip shot.
Oh,
30 yards, 32-yard.
A chip shot.
It hurts my soul.
It was straight on. It wasn't even on the right hash or the left hash.
No, they put it right in the middle because that's where he wanted it.
Yes.
And yeah,
boink.
I don't want. I don't even want to think of it. That's why, you know what? Get everybody out of there. I'm glad Harbaugh's gone. I'm glad Monken's gone. Congratulations to Todd Monken getting the job at the Cleveland with the Cleveland Browns. But all y'all got to go. So let the young people get in there. Give me somebody who's young and aggressive, man. Like I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the Ravens to turn the page.
Shedeur Sanders as a Pro Bowler.
That's
Sanders?
ridiculous. If
money time.
If Shedeur Sanders is in the Pro Bowl, Tyler Shuck should have definitely been in the Pro Bowl. I'm just saying.
Shedeur made off a loophole.
Shedeur is a clown, but
no, he's not. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Drake, come on. Oh, that's.
He's the best quarterback in Cleveland's roster, but that's not. Really
Is he though? So, I could argue
Cleveland is like a curse with the New York Jets of quarterbacks. This is the curse over like the whole city of like Cleveland.
Yeah, no, it's
curse
terrible.
Jimmy B.
It's terrible. But I tell you what, man. Like, first of all, shout out. This is the 40th anniversary of the 1986 Louisville championship team. Those fellas will be honored today, by the way, at some point. I don't know if it's going to be at halftime or if it's going to be during one of the breaks early on in the game, but all of the 86 guys, that's the first championship team I remember.
Has it been that long?
Yes.
Probably half
40 years. 40 years. That first championship, like that's the first championship I remember. Like I remember 86 game. I don't remember 80. I was too young, but I do remember the 86 game. I remember Purvis and all those fellas. I hope that Purvis is going to be able to make it in town for it. I know Kenny Payne, they asked if he was going to be there. Kenny Payne will not be there because Arkansas has a game today, but they said he would have been there.
No, don't.
And he should have been there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's part of the championship team.
I mean, look, I love the 86 team. And granted, I also remember the 80 team.
Yes.
Barely remember the 80 team. I vividly remember the 86 team. And I vividly remember that night me, you, and Jay Hass went out with the 86 team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had fun times had a great time out with the guys, hanging out.
Yes.
It was awesome. So I love the 86 team. Yeah, that was
love
a special
them,
place
man.
in my heart.
Love them. Milt Ice Wagner and, Billy Thompson and Never Nervous Purvis and, Kenny Payne, Herb Crook. I can go down the line and name all those fellas, man. Like, so I'm glad that they're going to be honored today. I can't believe it's been 40 years, but super, super excited to bring them back. And with that being said, I need Louisville to go out there and put their best foot forward, fellas. So I need to know.
I mean, shot forward.
What changes would you all make, or what would you all like to see? If you're Pat Kelsey, what do you need to do to make sure that Louisville can come out and look good today?
You go first, Trey.
Okay, so first thing, Hallie's on the bench. He's not getting any playing time today. Just saying.
Oh wow.
Casey Pirate's taking hot spot. He's in starting lineup. Brown, Conwell.
By the way,
Jake McNeely out.
Kenai Roos is back today. By the way,
so
Kenai Roos will be playing.
Okay, so here's the lineup: Brown, Conwell, Pryor the 3, Roots the 4, and then Sonan DeFru at the 5. That team's unstoppable, though. Best starting lineup of all time.
Big, long, athletic.
Running zone.
2-3 zone on the back.
No, first we're gonna do half court press. We're gonna press them up forward. Make
Okay.
sure they don't get any balls in. Okay. Once we do that, we're gonna slow the game down. Make sure they get no shots off. Then we're gonna sub for Roos and put Khalifa in. Yep. You have Brown, Conwell, and then we're doing sub Conwell and Brown out for Woolley and McNeely. But McNeely is the one the one.
Haven Hanson, what do you think about that? That's very interesting. I kind of like that. And I think of the fact that Dre's like 2-3 zone. He's literally wanting them to play Jim Boeheim basketball with 6'10", 6'10", and 7 foot on the back line with a couple of dynamic guards in the front court.
Who's staying back? He's not gonna go. He's not gonna.
Yeah, he's just gonna just leave him right there at the rim. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
I like it. It's not going to happen, but I like it.
Hey,
I do like it though.
I'm gonna ask Pat Kelsey if he can do that.
Because we all know
like
Javon Halley's going to start.
I know. Boo.
Actually, what I predict is going to happen is nothing's going to change. It's going to stay exactly the same as it was the previous game.
If you believe that, his like the aura, just
Nothing's going to change.
nothing.
Pat Kelsey's not going to change anything.
He's just gonna. Hey guys, get back out there. Do your thing.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Man-to-man coverage.
That's exactly what he's going to do. He's
Yes.
not changing his scheme for anybody.
Through, back him down, post up, shake and bake.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. But I will say this. I believe Louisville will be victorious against SMU. I believe that we have the
If
talent.
we do that, we're gonna lose.
No, we're not. We're not going to lose. We're going to beat SMU. We're going to beat SMU by at least 7 points. At least 7 points.
At least 3 points. If we do that.
No, we're going to win. We're going to win by 7. We're going to play the ball that has gotten us here, that we have played well. The only adjustment you may see Roos play a little bit more.
A little bit more. We need Pride to play a little bit more.
That's not going to happen. I'm telling you.
It's not going to happen, but we need it to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We need it to happen.
Case don't get in the game. Case Sean's going to get in the game, and he's going to play a good 6 minutes total.
6 minutes.
Yes.
At least 10.
He's going to play at least 6 minutes total. I mean, PK is who PK is.
We need him to change, dog. I need to get some mind control sedative. I don't know. Just
Yeah. I'm just gonna tell you for the record, I love both of you all's plans, and I totally agree with both of that. I would love. I mean, but I think it's real. I think that's honestly what's gonna happen. Like, I agree with you, Haven. I know this right now. Until I see it, I feel like Coach Kelsey is kind of stuck in his ways with this team and how he envisions it. So at this point, as it's almost the turn of the calendar, February, I just don't think he's going to make any material adjustments. He's kind of dug his feet in on this is what it's going to be because you're just running out of time.
if we do that, are we gonna make the NCAA tournament then?
Yes.
Easily.
I think so because I just think that the way Louisville plays, they're good enough with the teams that they have to play to where they'll win most of their games. I think they'll win at least 9 of their last 11 games. They got 11 games left. They'll get 9 of those 11. They could possibly get 10.
We'll probably get past the first round. Probably.
You know?
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
honestly, Louisville in the tournament is all about matchups.
it's going to be matchups.
It's all about matchups. If we play a big physical team, it's a wrap.
Or it can play like someone like
That's fair.
Cat.
So we got a couple of texts I wanted to get to just before the end of the show, but I agree with both of you guys on that. I would love to see Louisville. The biggest thing that I would say that I would change, I would up Kanaru's minutes a lot, and I would ask, like, Duke plays Dame Sarr, who's the kid that came over from Italy, the big 6'7" athletic wing. He's not a great shooter, but he is Duke's heartbeat defensively. And they just put him on the best perimeter player on the other team and just have him dog those guys for at least 20 to 22 minutes a game. I would really relish if Louisville said, you know what, who cares if Kanaru doesn't shoot the ball well? I'm going to put him on the best perimeter player on the other team and just not let them do anything.
I know during the Memphis game, he had 2 points with 11 rebounds.
I feel like Kanaru would thrive in that role. I would love to see that. I don't know if it'll happen, but I do expect that him being back is going to make a big difference. I think that Michael Brown's going to be a lot better, but I would love to see Casey Pryor get to that 10-minute
This thing, like, this Louisville team should be so versatile. They should be a lot more versatile than what they are.
they're being forced to play a lot smaller and a lot more limited than they have to be.
Yeah,
that's directly
and that's
because of the coaching staff.
Because Roos should be like, and I know Pat Kelsey hates middies, the mid range game.
What's wrong with middies?
Huh?
Pull up jumpers?
Yeah, he just doesn't like mid range at all.
But Roos would just kill in the mid range game, and would add another weapon to your offense that you sorely need.
But it's not happening right now.
It's not going to happen.
It's not. I agree with you. I think offensively, if you would allow players to attack in that mid range, I think that would help a guy like Isaac McNeely when they're crowding him around the 3-point line. He's good in that mid range. I think you could do the same thing with Ryan Conwell, but that's just not the way the offense is set up. But I tell you what, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Thank you for everybody being a part of the show this morning. We got to get out of here. Thank you, intern Dre. Thank you, Haven Harrington. Thank you, Roman Kelly. Jay Has for Big X, and we're out.
This is Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk. The Big X, AM 1450 and 96.1 FM, WXVW Jeffersonville.